Imagine trying to pour water from an empty cup. Impossible, right? That's exactly what happens when we constantly put others first and neglect our own needs. We convince ourselves that being selfless makes us better, more productive, or more loving, but here's the truth. Self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary. Taking care of yourself is about more than indulgence. It's about maintaining your well-being so you can genuinely show up for others. So let's dive into why self-care is an ethical must, not just a luxury. Number 10, building a self-care routine, practical tips. So how do you start prioritizing yourself without feeling like you're shirking responsibilities? Start small. Incorporate activities into your daily life that recharge your mental and physical energy. Whether it's taking a 5-minute breather or scheduling downtime after work, these moments add up. You don't need a week-long retreat to feel the benefits. Experts from the Cleveland Clinic suggest starting with basic habits like going for a short walk, meditating, or even creating a bedtime routine to ensure you're well-rested. By weaving these moments of care into your life, you'll find a significant improvement in your overall well-being. Number 9, breaking free from hustle culture. We live in a world that glorifies being busy. Hustle culture tells us that if we aren't grinding 24/7, we're failing. But this mindset leads to burnout, decreased productivity, and even resentment toward the very things we once enjoyed. Research conducted by Stanford University found that overworked individuals are 35% more likely to experience a significant drop in productivity than those who maintain a balanced work-life routine. Self-care helps break that cycle by encouraging balance over constant hustle. By making self-care a priority, you increase not only your happiness, but also your long-term success. Number 8, the ethics of self-care, why it matters. Ethically speaking, neglecting your own well-being isn't just harmful to you, it can hurt others too. Healthcare professionals, for instance, are taught that they must be well in order to care for their patients effectively. The American Nurses Association emphasizes the importance of self-care for nurses, stating that it reduces burnout, improves mental health, and ensures higher quality patient care. In fact, burnout among healthcare workers has been linked to medical errors and reduced patient satisfaction, highlighting the ripple effect of neglecting self-care. This principle applies to anyone in caregiving roles, parents, teachers, and even managers. By prioritizing your own health, you're better equipped to care for others without draining yourself emotionally or physically. Beyond personal relationships, the workplace also benefits when individuals practice self-care. Teams are more productive, creative, and engaged when leaders model healthy habits, creating an environment where everyone thrives, not just survives. Number 7, self-care is self-love, not self-indulgence. Here's the thing. Self-care doesn't have to be expensive spa days or Instagram-worthy retreats. It can be as simple as taking a walk, journaling, or even saying no when you're stretched too thin. A recent study from the Mayo Clinic highlights that regular self-care practices like maintaining a healthy diet, getting enough sleep, and practicing mindfulness are directly linked to improved mental and physical health outcomes. The key is to listen to your body and mind and meet their needs, which is an act of self-love, not indulgence. In fact, practicing small, consistent acts of self-care is shown to decrease long-term healthcare costs by preventing illness. Number 6, stress, the silent energy thief. Stress has become so normalized that we often wear it like a badge of honor. But prolonged stress wreaks havoc on both mental and physical health, leading to sleep disturbances, heightened anxiety, and chronic conditions like heart disease and diabetes. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that chronic stress weakens the immune system, making individuals more susceptible to illness. The World Health Organization recently listed workplace stress as one of the primary contributors to burnout, reduced productivity, and even global health crises. Self-care practices, such as taking mindful breaks or engaging in physical activity, can interrupt this harmful cycle. Activities like mindfulness and meditation have been scientifically proven to reduce cortisol levels, the stress hormone, which in turn lowers blood pressure and improves mood. Incorporating even brief moments of self-care into your day can have a profound impact on reducing stress and maintaining overall well-being. Number 5, productivity hack, self-care boosts performance. If you're the type who thinks taking time off is for the weak, think again. Research shows that workers who neglect self-care are more prone to distractions and poor focus, which leads to lower productivity. A Harvard Business Review report found that employees who incorporate mindfulness and regular self-care into their routines experience a 37% increase in productivity compared to those who don't. Moreover, taking time to recharge can significantly boost creativity and innovation. Studies from the American Psychological Association show that rest and self-care improve cognitive functions such as decision-making and problem-solving. By stepping away from the grind, you're actually setting yourself up for better performance and long-term success. So it's not about working harder. It's about working smarter by making time for self-care. Number 4. The ripple effect. Why caring for yourself helps others. Imagine this. You're on an airplane and the oxygen masks drop down. The flight attendants always say, "Put your mask on first before helping others." Life is exactly the same. If you're drained, you can't effectively support others. A study conducted by the American Institute of Stress found that individuals who engage in self-care report lower levels of stress and increased emotional availability toward others. When you're mentally and physically well, your energy radiates outward, benefiting everyone in your circle. Even in professional settings, leaders who practice self-care are better equipped to manage their teams, with research showing that empathetic leadership increases employee engagement by 21%. Number 3. Guilt trip alert. Why we feel bad about self-care. Feel guilty about taking time for yourself. You're not alone. Many of us have an inner critic that tells us we're being lazy or selfish for stepping back. Society often reinforces this by glorifying constant productivity and selflessness, particularly for caregivers and professionals. But here's the kicker: neglecting self-care leads to resentment, frustration, and ultimately, burnout, which we often take out on those closest to us. This is especially common for caregivers who frequently experience compassion fatigue, a state of emotional exhaustion that arises from constantly prioritizing others over themselves. Research from Psychology Today shows that when we consistently prioritize others at the expense of our well-being, we are more likely to suffer from emotional burnout, which can negatively impact our relationships. So if you're feeling guilty about resting, remember, you're not just taking care of yourself, you're ensuring you have the energy and emotional bandwidth to be truly present for others. In reality, you're doing everyone a favor by making self-care a priority. Number 2. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Think of self-care as the oil that keeps the engine of your life running smoothly. Skipping it may seem like you're saving time, but in reality, you're speeding toward a breakdown. Studies support this analogy, showing that neglecting self-care increases stress and leads to a higher risk of burnout and physical ailments like hypertension and heart disease. Whether it's setting boundaries at work or indulging in a hobby, these small acts of self-care prevent stress from snowballing into burnout. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology found that workers who engaged in self-care had a 25% reduction in perceived stress compared to those who didn't. People who prioritize self-care report fewer mental health issues, such as depression and anxiety, and tend to have a better work-life balance. According to Forbes Health, employees who take regular breaks and maintain a balanced self-care regimen are up to 30% more productive than those who don't. By treating self-care as a necessity, not a luxury, you can improve both your mental health and productivity. Number 1. The myth of selfishness. Let's bust it. Many of us have been conditioned to believe that focusing on ourselves is inherently selfish. But is it really? A study published in the Journal of Positive Psychology reveals that individuals who practice self-care report higher levels of life satisfaction and lower rates of anxiety. This makes sense when you consider that self-care strengthens our emotional resilience, allowing us to better navigate life's inevitable stressors equals. The American Psychological Association emphasizes that self-care helps improve emotional regulation, which means individuals are better equipped to manage their feelings and remain calm under pressure. Research also shows that by setting aside time for personal well-being, you foster healthier relationships because you're more patient and emotionally available to others. Essentially, self-care enables you to be your best self, not just for you, but for the people who depend on you. Prioritizing yourself means you're better equipped to support those around you without burning out. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If this video didn't convince you to take a break and care for yourself, well, I guess I'll just have to do a follow-up with even more reasons. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because, hey, self-care also means keeping up with awesome content. See you next time, and remember, you can't pour from an empty cup.